This Legion strat wins me 90% of my ranked games on LAIR. In today's video, I'll be going over 5 different solo queue strats for LAIR that you need for your ranked games. Let's get into it. But firstly, let's go over that Legion strat that I just showed you for top floor. As Legion, your primary objective is to sit behind the common reinforcement head hole wall right here that leads into this room, which leads into the outside and where they spawn. You do this by putting Legion mines around you so that you can swing off of them. The first 2 Legion mines I recommend are going on the left and right side of this door. This is just because if they shoot one, there'll be another one waiting for them, so either way they're going to get hit by a Legion mine. Not only this, but because you have head holes here that you're peeking and playing off of, chances are they'll walk in the doorway, get hit by a Legion mine, and then back out. So then when they come back in the doorway, they'll get hit by another Legion mine and then have to back out. So it just wastes a bit more time. Also, putting one below this window right here isn't a terrible idea for the exact same reason. You just want to be making them hit Legion mines for information and to slow them down, because people love to rush from this area. If you want as well, when you get a 4th Legion mine, you should be putting one right here next to the walkway, because sometimes people won't walk all the way around. They'll walk right here, and that Legion mine will get them 9 times out of 10. And then the same thing goes for like the left side right here, except this one is it's shootable from the window, so like pick it at your own poison. You really only want to be putting one right there if you haven't put any on your flanks, which is where you should be putting your other Legion mines. You want one on this staircase specifically because it'll make it to where if someone's flanking you, you'll know about it, but they can also flank you from this hallway as well, so putting one on this doorway is also a really good idea. If you don't have brain dead teammates, they'll usually be able to watch these 2 doorways here by themselves, so you don't really have to worry about putting Legion mines there, especially when you're playing all the way over there and you're so far away that you can't even swing off of them. But since you are playing right here, then what do you do with this wall? Well, a lot of people just reinforce both sides, but you actually don't want to do this. The reason you do this is because you actually want to put head holes on the left side. The reason you put head holes on that side is because typically people will open up this wall with an ace or a thermite. And if they do that and they open this, they can easily get a plant down right here in the corner. But these head holes make it a lot harder for them to cross and sit in the corner. And if they try to do that, you can always get on the head holes and shoot them when they're planting. So these head holes make it a lot harder for them to just open the wall, put a smoke grenade right here, and plant for absolutely free. If they don't decide to get this wall open though, then they also give you a cool angle that you can use to see into the room that we talked about earlier, or the doorway right here. And as Legion, if they're pushing here, they're going to make it to the double door, which is where you should put your next Legion mine, on the double door. When people swing doorways, they typically don't swing super wide unless they're doing it really quickly, because they need to hold the angle here and they need to peek the angle here. So they'll do it close to the door, which in turn will make them hit that Legion mine. But because when you're playing Legion you have a shotgun, let me go over all of the rotates and head holes for the rest of site that you should be doing in the prep phase for your team. The first one you'll need is right here. Putting a rotate here allows you to sit inside of CC, which in turn can make it to where you'll have head holes here that can watch the breach, or even a rotate here as well, so that you can rotate in between sites here, and make it to where if they want to actually get the bomb down or walk through this wall, they have to clear you out of CC first. The only issue is that they can get this wall open to contest it, and they can go through this double door. So what I'll do is I'll barricade this off, especially because they can get on the window from the bathroom and see into it. And then once I've barricaded that off, I'll reinforce this wall. The last thing you want to do is put head holes on this wall right here, for the exact same reason that you put head holes pretty much anywhere else, just to stop the initial plant and get an angle onto the doorway here. It is a double-edged sword though, because they can use the head holes to make it to where you can't rotate out of this door, so pick your poison. This strat relies on you playing next or near to site very heavily. You don't want to roam with this strat at all. Just like this next strat, well, you'll be playing Mira on the basement site. Now because you're playing Mira, let's go over all of the reinforcements. First of all, when you come into the connector hallway, you want these 2 walls reinforced. This is because if they open this wall, they can get a long angle onto this doorway, which gives them a long angle onto that doorway and the rotate, which is bad. Then you want to make sure that this wall right here is reinforced. The same thing for this single wall in the bomb site, and the same thing for this double wall right here next to the bomb site as well. Now as Mira, I'm not saying you have to do all of these reinforcements that I just showed you, but I'm just letting you know where to reinforce, because I just see a lot of people not reinforcing the right walls. You also want to get the 2 hatches that lead to the basement, but we'll talk about that later. Then when you come into lab, you'll want to make a rotate on the right side of this wall right here. The reason you put it on the right and not the left is because if you put it on the left side right here, then people can see you from this doorway, or optionally these head holes that some people will put here as well, which is not good. If you put it on this side, however, they won't be able to see you from that doorway. So I think it's way better to put it on this side. The only issue with this is they can now see you from that doorway when you rotate. So, pick your own poison. But this is actually good for you, because what you're going to do is reinforce the left side of this wall where this rotate is, and then put a mirror on it. This will allow you to be able to shoot people on the door because you have a rotate here, and the mirror right here will also provide you that same information. People will also commonly plant behind this desk, so you can shoot out the little cardboard wall right here, as well as the other one right here to make sure they can't hide anywhere without you knowing where they're crouched. And now, as you can see, it's much more dangerous for them to push that door and push that door from the door over there, and it's a lot easier for you to hold the bomb site. The next mirror window I suggest you put down is in the same exact room, but on the other side on this wall next to the door. This mirror will allow you to watch this side. Oh, accidentally meleeed it, sorry. But you get the idea. You can see outside the mirror and shoot from the doorway with the information that it provides for you. It's very, very nice, and overall, if you just stay inside of here playing both of your mirrors, you should be pretty much set up for success. It's very, very passive, unlike its attacking strat with Ram. Now, this strat specifically is if they're playing inside of the basement. As Ram, what you'll want to do is spawn on the north or west side of the building, and then come into this door that you can see right here. Once you've done this, drone out the area, make sure no one's above you, and make sure no one is on the first floor. Once you've droned out the area, you've droned out the comms room, you've droned out projector, you can then walk in and shoot this default camera and commence your plan. If the hatch here is soft, you can open it. This will lead into a hallway leading into the basement side, which is really powerful for you. What I then recommend you do is go to the left side of the hatch and throw a ram gadget just like this. This ram gadget will give you vert onto anybody in the hallway, it will give you vert onto anybody inside of sight, or anybody trying to use the common rotate that we talked about earlier. It's a really, really good line of sight with a ram gadget. Then come into the comms room and do the exact same thing, pointing it at this wall just like this. This will give you vert onto that same connector room, but this time onto the other part of the basement, which is lab, and it will also give you a rotate, which you can then use with your shotgun to create further vert, which is really, really nice. Your last ram gadget will go next to your first one, so you should throw it just like this into the doorway in front of you. This ram gadget will give you the rest of the vert that you need to completely secure lab control for absolutely free. Pair this up with the vert that you just made earlier, and lab is no longer a safe place at all for any defender to sit. Now that you've done this, you can come downstairs to the yellow stairs. After you come downstairs, destroy the default camera here and move onto the doorway to your right. Once you've droned and secured this area, you're going to move to this doorway and use your smoke grenades to smoke off the door to your right, maybe the door to your left or the rotate right there, or the common headholes right here, but you know, you could just smoke close to you as well, and then get the bomb down. Because you have so much vert above lab that we talked about earlier, you have this vert, you have all of this vert, it'll make it a lot easier for you to plant if you have teammates playing off of your vert, and it'll make it a lot easier for you to get the bomb down and play the post plant when you can play off of all of this vert as well. Because there's so much soft floor above both of these sites, there's a lot of wiggle room with how you can do this strat. You can do vert anywhere you want to, it doesn't really matter. It's all dependent on what you want to do, which is not the case for this ace strat when attacking the top floor. As ace, it doesn't matter where you spawn, just get to the top of the building just like this. Then you're going to jump down next to the wall right here. What you're going to do then is open up a breach on the right side that's crouch height just like this. That way, it actually gets the breach open, but it makes it to where you can crouch through and not have to vault through, and then put another ace charge just like this, and then shoot the bottom section just like that. What this does is it gives you headholes to contest the headholes that we talked about earlier with that Legion strat, but also if you want to crouch behind cover so you're not exposed to those headholes, you're able to do so because you shot out the other ace charge right here. If maybe it's too low, you can always throw the first ace charge a little higher so that you really can't be seen by the headholes, and it should be free easy gunfights that you can easily abuse. Then, what I do if there's no headholes there is you can run across and get the plant down here with help from your teammates, which is arguably the hardest part. But once you're here, you can get the bomb down, and then just stay here. If this wall is reinforced, you can ace it open, same thing for this wall, and now you have a lot of angles that you can use to contest anyone trying to stop you from keeping the bomb from being defused, which is really, really good for you, as you can see right here. Now I can stop anyone from trying to contest me whenever I get the bomb down, and I can just shoot people. It's very, very nice. And it's super simple too, which is nothing like this gridlock strat for attacking the same top floor. As gridlock, what you'll do is you come onto the roof and then drop down one level until you're at this door, which is where we had our Legion strat earlier. Now, because there's typically head holes here with somebody contesting you, as gridlock, you can bring smoke grenades or frag grenades to contest where they're sitting so that you can easily push up, which is what your first step is going to be. Once this happens, make sure that you're contesting your doorway so that no one's peeking it. Make sure that you're contesting your head hole so no one's peeking it. And then I would wind swing this doorway and then watch your hallway just like this. This is because the first thing you're going to do is throw gridlock tracks into this hallway. These gridlock tracks will make it to where they can't rotate from the staircase or from this hallway onto where you are playing and trying to get the bomb down. And because people will typically have head holes in a reinforcement here, you can pull out your super shorty and make this into a rotate for yourself to get the bomb down at the default spot right here. And because, as you can see, the angle doesn't even peek you if they have head holes here, you can get it down for absolutely free. It's very, very nice. But wait, before you get the bomb down, make sure that you throw gridlock tracks somewhere in front of you, kind of like there. These gridlock tracks will cover the hallway, so even if they want to contest you from planting, they won't be able to do it without you knowing about it because you threw the gridlock tracks down. If you pair this up with smoke grenades as well, it'll make it a lot harder for them to be able to push you. I have frag grenades, which honestly I do prefer that you bring for most gridlock executes, but do whatever you want to do. If they have a rotate right here, you can do the exact same thing by throwing gridlock tracks in front of that rotate. And honestly, what I'd recommend as well is throwing gridlock tracks into this hallway here. That way, if they do destroy these gridlock tracks or they destroy the ones that were flanking you, they can't come into the hallway and into the rotate behind you to pinch you and kill you for absolutely free. Pair this up with, like I said, head holes here with an ace, which a lot of people typically do, then it makes it to where it's pretty much impossible for them to defuse the bomb if all you do is take control of this hallway, which is the hardest part, and it's the part that most attackers are actually easily able to do in most rounds anyways, which is why this is so solo queue friendly, because your randoms will mostly do the work for you. You're just mirroring a default strat that they typically use. And if you do everything like I told you, it should be a free round win. If you want more free round wins though, then check out this next video. My name's Alka, and I hope I'll see you there. Later.